Okay, now problem number 2. Raf Carpenter is one of the local producer of cupboard at West Java. Their main product is mini cupboard, and the products have been imported to several countries because of their quality and durability. And then Raf want to tell you about their secrets for making a good products, such as mini cupboard. And here is the mini cupboard components that they want to share with you. And this is the mini cupboard, and the questions are: question A, to make it more sophisticated, construct the bill of material diagram for the figure above. It means this figure. And then we have to identify all levels, parents and components or children's. Put the quantity needed for every component at your bill of material. And there is a hint: give more attention to the main product to know how much the needed components. Okay, and then next question is: there are 2 orders from a loyal customer, LS Interior Bauer, and then they must be shipped 60 units in week 7 and then 120 units in week 10. And we have to determine the MRP plan for these orders, and then by using lot for lot technique. So for question B, we have this following information. And then question C is: develop a time-phased assembly plan to prepare the mini cupboard for the week 7's order. Okay, first question A. They want us to identify all levels, parents, and components. So based on this figure, we know that the main product is mini cupboard, right? And so mini cupboard, here we could say that mini cupboard is a parent. And this mini cupboard has 2 components. They are doors and frame. So these doors and frame, they are the children's to the mini cupboard. And for the level, we could say that mini cupboard is on level 0, and the doors and the frame is on level 1, because the higher it is, so the level will be near to 0. So since mini cupboard is the main product, it's the level 0. It's in the level 0. And then for doors and frame, they're children's to the mini cupboard, and they are on level 1. And here we could see that doors have 2 components as well. They are boards and handle. So here doors could be apparent too for the boards and handle. So the boards and handle are the children's to the doors, and boards and handle, they are in level 3. So we could say that level 0 there is mini cupboard, and level 1 there is doors and frame, and level 2 there is boards and handle. Mini cupboard as parent, and then doors and frame as children for the mini cupboard, while doors could be a parent too for boards and handle. Okay, so here doors have 2 roles, as a parents and as a children. For the quantity, maybe we could do it in the next question, which is question B. So next to question B, there are 2 orders from a loyal customer. There are 2 orders at week 7 and week 10. And now we're gonna do the MRP plan for this order using this information in this table. So it says that mini cupboard has lead times 2 weeks, from 3 weeks, doors 1 week, boards 2 weeks, and handle 1 week. So we have the product or parts here, and then each lead time for each product, and then the inventory on hand units. So we have info about the parts, each lead times, and each beginning inventory. And then also we have the info about the scheduled receipt. They have no scheduled receipt except for the handle. Handle has 70 units at the beginning of week 5. So to be more clear, let's do it here. Okay, first we have to do the mini cupboard as the main product, okay, or the level 0. So we have to do it in order, starting from level 0 and then level 1, level 2, and so on if there is any. Okay, so we have to start from level 0, which is mini cupboard. Okay, lead time, don't forget its lead time is 2 weeks. Okay, its lead time is 2 weeks. You could see it here. Okay, the lead times for mini cupboard is 2 weeks. So don't forget to write down its level. It's level 0. And then for the gross requirement is, you could see here in the question, it said that in week 7 we have 60 units as our demand, and then in week 10 we have 120 units. So that is our gross requirement, 60 and 120. 60 at week 7 and then 120 at week 10. Okay, and for week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9 there's no gross requirement, okay, because the demand is only for week 7 and 10. Okay, and then next, there's no scheduled receipt for mini cupboard. For the project on hand, or the beginning inventory for mini cupboard, we could see it here in this table. For mini cupboard, there's no inventory on hand or unit, so there's no beginning inventory, so it should be 0, this one. Okay, and then move until this week 7, there's no inventory at all. And then for net requirement, here our requirement at week 7 is 60, while we have no inventory, so we have 60 as our net requirement, right? 60. And since we have net requirement, it means we have to place order release. And remember that our lead time is 2 weeks, so we have to place the order 2 weeks before. So we need it in week 7, so we have ordered it in week 5. Okay, so 7 minus 2, so it's supposed to be in here. Yes, we place the order here in week 5, so it will be arrived in week 7 in plain order receipt. So this number will be used to fulfill the net requirement, to fulfill the gross requirement. Okay, so we have no inventory for the next weeks, still have no inventory. And then in week 10 we have a gross requirement 120, while we have no inventory, so we have net requirement as much as this gross requirement, which is 120. Since we have net requirement, so we have to place order release, right? We have to adjust it with the lead time, which is 2 weeks, so we have to order 2 weeks before, which is in week 8. Okay, 120, since our net requirement is 120, and it will be arrived here as our plain order receipt, and will be used to fulfill this gross requirement. Okay, next move to the level 1. So we are done with level 0, right? And since the level 0 is only mini cupboard, next we move to the level 1. Level 1, here we have frame and doors. Okay, first, now we do the frame first. Don't forget to check the lead time. For frame, the lead time is 3 weeks, and the inventory on hand is 10 units, and there is no scheduled receipt. Okay, so don't forget the lead time is 3 weeks, and the project on hand is 10 units. For the gross requirement, for level 1, it's following the plan or the release the mini cupboard. So here the level 0, which is the mini cupboard, it has plan or the release in week 5 and week 8. So this will be our gross requirement for level 1. Okay, so for the frame, the gross requirement will be appear in week 5, which is as much as 60. Okay, and also will be appear in week 8 as much as 120. Okay, so you have to follow the plan or the release the mini cupboard, right? Okay, there's no schedule receipt. Okay, now since there is no requirement until week 4, so it will be carried to the week 5, the inventory. Okay, still 10, and the gross requirement in week 5 is 60. Our inventory is 10, so the shortage is 50 units, right? And it becomes our net requirement, and we have to place order. Okay, since we have net requirement, don't forget that the lead time is 3 weeks, so we have to place the order 3 weeks before we need it. So we have to order in week 5 minus 3, which is in week 2, as much as 50. Okay, and it will be received here, and the plan order receipt plus project on hand will be used to fulfill the gross requirement. Okay, now since we are doing this MRP with lot for lot technique, so we order the plan order release as much as our needs. Okay, that's why just like the mini cupboard too, we order as much as we need, so there's no access or for covering the next or further orders, right? So we just order as much as we need. So we have no inventory in week 6, right? Because these 10 units already used to fulfill requirement in week 5. So there's no inventory until this week. And the requirement in week 8 is 120. We have no inventory, so we have the net requirement as much as the gross requirement. And we have to place the order. Don't forget the lead time is 3 weeks, so we have to order it 3 weeks before, which is in week 5. Okay, plan order release is 120 and will be received here and will be used to fulfill the gross requirement. Okay, and there's still no inventory until the end. Okay, don't forget that the level in level 1 we also have the doors, and the lead time for doors is 1 week, and inventory on hand is 50. So the projected on hand is 50, and since it's level 1, the gross requirement will be following the plan order release, the level 0. Okay, so it will be appear on week 5 and week 8, but please take notes that for doors here we need 2 doors for 1 mini cupboard. Okay, you could see it here in this figure. 1 mini cupboard, it takes 2 doors, so we have to multiply this number with 2, since 1 mini cupboard needs 2 doors. Okay, so it will be appear in week 5 and week 8. In week 5 the mini cupboard is 60, so we have to adjust the gross requirement for doors is multiply these 60 numbers with two doors, and it becomes 120. And then also in week 8, the mini cupboard is 120, so the doors will be twice. The amount of the doors will be twice of it, which is 240, right? Yeah, that's all for the gross requirement, and there's no schedule receipt. Next, project on hand. This unit will be carried until until week 5, because in week 1, 2, 3, 4 there's no requirement. Okay, so since the gross requirement is 120 and our inventory is 50, there's a shortage, and it becomes our net requirement as much as 70. And we have to place order to fulfill this net requirement. Don't forget that the lead time is 1 week, so we have to order 1 week before, which is in week 4. So it will be received here. Okay, so 70 plus 50 will be used to fulfill gross requirement, and there is no inventory for the next week. Until 8, there's no inventory. Since we have no inventory, so we have so the net requirement is 240, and since we have a net requirement, we have to order 1 week before, and will be received here in week 8, and will be used to fulfill this gross requirement. And so there is no inventory until the end. Next, since we are done doing the level 1, we move to the next level, which is level 2. Okay, level 2, we have boards and handle, which is the children's to the doors. And first, we're gonna do the boards. The boards has lead times 2 weeks, and the inventory on hand is 100 units. Okay, for the gross requirement, don't forget that the children's gross requirement is following the plan or the release of its parents. Since boards is the children's to the door, so we have to see that plan or the release the doors is appear on week 4 and week 7. So the gross requirement for boards will be appear on that week too. So will appear on week 4 as much as 70, because we could see here for one door we only need one board, and for one door we only need one handle too. So we don't have to multiply it with any number. Okay, now also in week 7, 240. Okay, we're done in gross requirement. There's no schedule received, and there is no requirement until week 4. So the project on hand will be carried until week 4. And we see that our requirement is only 70 while our inventory is 100, so we don't need any net requirement. Yet we have still have inventory as much as 30, right? It will be carried until week 7. And our gross requirement in week 7 is 240 while our inventory is only 30, so we have net requirement here as much as 210 units, right? Okay, since we have net requirement, it means that we have to order it. Don't forget that the lead time is 2 weeks. Okay, for boards here, lead time is 2 weeks. so we have to order it 2 weeks before in week 5, and will be received here. And to fulfill these requirements, we use the plan order receipt plus the project on hand. So for the next week, we have no inventory at all until the end. We're done with boards. Now move to handle. It's still in level 2, so for its gross requirement, we'll be following the plan order release the doors, which is appears on week 4 and 7, and will be appear as much as this number 2. So 70 in week 4 and 240 in week 7. Okay, and then other information is the lead time is 1 week and the inventory on hand is 220 units. Also here we have schedule receipts for handle. There are 70 units at the beginning of week 5. Okay, lead time is 1 week, and then project on hand 220, and also schedule receipt on week 5 as much as 70 units. Okay, now this inventory will be carried until week 4. In week 4, the requirement is only 70 units. So all of this requirement, these gross requirements will be fulfilled using our inventory. So our inventory will be subtracted with this gross requirement, and it becomes 150 units. But here, don't forget, in week 5, we also have schedule receipts 70 units. So in the week 6, our inventory becomes 220. Okay, we get it by adding the inventory or project on hand with the schedule receipt. Okay, so maybe I'm just gonna write down the formula. Okay, you get it from here plus here. Okay, next, so in week 7 our inventory is still 220, yet our gross requirement is 240 units, so we have shortage 20 units. It becomes our net requirement, and we have to order it 1 week before, since our lead time is 1 week. It will be received here, and yeah, for gross requirement in week 7 will be fulfilled using our inventory plus this 20 from plan order receipt. So we have no inventory for next week until the end. Now we are done filling all of this MRP table for mini cupboard from level 0, 1 until 2. Okay, so that's the answer for question B. Next, question C. Develop a time-phased assembly plan to prepare the mini cupboard for the week 7's order. So for question C, it looks like this. Okay, so you have to draw this kind of graph. The vertical line is the age is week 7, which is the week being asked, and in horizontal line you have to write down the number of week. Let's say it's the first week, second week, third week, and so on until week 7. Okay, so you have to draw this line in the week 7 because it's our purpose here to be done the mini cupboard. And then you have to pull the line back to the week 5. Why? Because we have two branches for mini cupboard. There are frame and doors. And for frame and doors, their gross requirement is appears in week 5, right? So that's why we have to pull back the line from week 7 to week 5. Or maybe you could see the lead time. Okay, the lead time for mini cupboard is 2 weeks. So you have to pull back the line 2 weeks before the deadline of mini cupboard, which is week 7. Okay, so that's why we are here now in week 5. In week 5, we have to already have the frame and door. And when should we start working on frame and door? We have to look at the lead time for frame. Okay, so the lead time for frame is 3 weeks, so we have to pull back the line 3 weeks from week 5. So the frame should be we should be start working on frame 3 weeks before week 5, which is week 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So frame should be start in week 2. And for the doors, lead time for doors is 1 week. So you only have to pull back the line 1 week before week 5. So it should be starting in week 4. Okay, for doors here. And then in week 4, the doors will be have 2 branches, which is handle and also boards, since doors is a parent for handle and boards. And we have to see that boards has 2 weeks as its lead time, and handle has 1 week as its lead time. So you have to pull back the line from week 4 until week 2 for boards, and then for the handle you have to pull until week 3, since the lead time for handle is 1 week and lead time for boards is 2 weeks. So we could see here from this graph that in order to finishing our work or producing our mini cupboard for order in week 7, we have to start working in week 2. Okay, so we have to start working on frame and board in week 2, and for handle in week 3, doors in week 4, and then for mini cupboard starting in week 5 until it's finished in week 7. So that's the answer for question C. And yeah, we're done doing all of the questions for problem 1 and 2. So it's enough for today's tutorial. If you have any question, please hit me up. Thank you.